Oh, well, today would be vlogger day 839 if the stars align.
Whoa, good morning. It is 8 o'clock, 8:04, on what I presume is a very sunny Friday morning. It's Friday? Jeez. It's Friday in Los Angeles, and I'm going to be going to Patrecon today. I think that you're probably kind of far away. They have a coffee cart. I just don't know what the line at the coffee cart is going to be like, so I'm tempted to get coffee on the way, but I think I should get coffee there because it'll be free, which is, you know, a benefit. I did try to eat all the ranch dressing they had last night, and they took the ranch dressing away from me. So I gotta figure this out somehow. Either ranch, coffee, something. Well, there are a number of questions that I have while I'm here. Not for Patreon specifically, but for me as somebody who, as you know, if you've been following me for a while, I'm trying to kind of steadily build a career out of my creative passions, out of the things I love to do, and I don't always know exactly how that's going to go. And I'm at a place now where I don't know what to do in a number of ways. Like, both personally, I've shared a number of the struggles that come along with making a video every day, but also creatively, professionally. How do you build a business out of something that you just love to do? How do you know when to go left or right? I don't know, there's just so many things that I'm not sure what to do. And obviously I'm struggling just to talk a little bit this morning because it is sleepy hour right now. I think I've kicked my jet lag, I think, so like I didn't feel miserable last night at all. I think I'm on a regular schedule. I'm really looking forward to just absorbing as much as I can and learning and hopefully leaving here thinking a lot. Thinking is always a good thing. Actually, sometimes I think too much, but I'm really, really grateful, first and foremost, to my patrons for making this possible. I think that that's one of the great, it's not an irony, but one of the great poetic portions of being here, I suppose, is that the only way that I'm able to attend Patrecon is because my patrons have made it possible. I only got invited, I guess, because I'm doing well enough on Patreon. I don't know what their invitation requirements were, but also because financially the only way that I could travel right now is because Patreon is supporting me. I'm actually making a decent wage on making these videos. Well enough that consider if you can join it with my lifestyle, basically, I'm able to afford to live and to travel. And that is really, really cool. So the only way that any of this is possible, the only way that I'm gonna be able to share any lessons from this whole experience, the only way that I'm able to eat pizza by the slice, hopefully again today, is that I was sent here to do so by my patrons, and so I'm really deeply grateful for them. And thank you, and just thank you so much, because without you, this would not have been possible. So, with that said, I don't know how much I'm gonna film actually in the conference today. Probably a little bit. I was able to film a little bit at the meet and greet last night. I'll try to film a little bit so you get an idea of what's going on inside, but my plan is just to kind of sit down and share big lessons learned on the day, or the things that really stuck with me, and probably keep it pretty simple today. Then tomorrow I will try to implement, if you have anything where you don't know what's going on in my life, you need an update, you don't know who I am, what's going on, tell me what's happening, then you can do that. Make sure to leave a comment. Hopefully you did that on yesterday's video, but I'll be reading through those today, and that'll give me a really good sense of kind of how to do an update video either tomorrow, although I'll probably do more of a recap of the whole Patrecon tomorrow, or when I travel out of here, you know, one of these days. I'm just trying to gauge what you need to know.
I didn't know if there'd be breakfast this morning at the convention or not, so I figured I should grab a sandwich at least. It'll hold me over till lunch, which I do know there's lunch. I'm also mildly obsessed with over sweet coffee, which I guess I can get Starbucks in Paris, but I don't drink it. The only thing is I forgot to ask for no whip on this, because I really don't need all that extra whipped cream. That is absurd. This is the sizing, everything. God bless America. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this thing while I walk, and then, you know, sit and learn, and I'm gonna learn good. I'm gonna learn good. I found the secret bathrooms upstairs. I don't know how to respond to anything. I wanted to flop down and just talk to you from lying here, but the lighting in this place sucks, so that can't happen. Wait, I'll just leave my sunglasses there for the moment. I had a wonderful time today at Patrecon. I am exhausted. What is happening more than anything is that it's hitting me right where I'm, I guess, kind of struggling. Like, there's that focus on burnout, which obviously I was struggling with, and I'm still struggling with in some ways here and there. And so the question is, and I've talked about this a lot, so I'm not gonna go too deep into this, but how do I build appropriate space and time for myself to make sure that I'm happy and healthy? And I got some great advice about that today, which is really good, and had some really good conversations, and might be just a little bit raw and able and a little too willing to talk. So if I met you today and I talked a little bit much, my apologies. And a little bit of an external processor and don't always have the opportunity. And I have a lot to process from today. Really good. Met some very interesting people, some very cool people. Went to dinner with a nice group of people as well. All around just having a very good time, but I have a lot to think about and a lot to process. Also feeling very encouraged, and I don't know if you've noticed, for those of you who have joined Patreon recently or maybe have looked at my Patreon, but I'm very close to the goal that I set for myself to consider myself full-time on a Patreon salary. So if you'd like to become a member of my Patreon, I'm trying to think through, and I'm gonna be thinking a lot about how to make a push to get there. We're only like $250 a month away from unlocking full-time vlogger status, where I officially shed all the side jobs except for the really fun ones that we find interesting and really focus. I mean, I basically already kind of live that way. I already live like it's full-time and have for a really long time, if we're being honest. Like, I put a lot of work into this. That push to get to that place where I officially declare myself through Patreon to be a full-time creator. And that's really exciting, that's really cool. So I'm gonna be thinking about how to go about that. Lots of good ideas here on how to grow your Patreon membership, on how to find more people, change things up, keep it interesting, keep some great value going to your patrons. And so there's definitely a lot to think about. And obviously that's what I came here for, was to really be challenged, to try and grow professionally, to try and make some friends. And I feel like all in all, that's all coming together very well. There's just a lot to think about in general. And yeah, it left me feeling fairly exhausted, a little bit sad, and I'm not 100% sure where that came from, but I think that was partially because there's just a lot of, still a lot of transition in my life, and still a lot of really good things, but just also, I think it's an exhaustion sadness, and it's a need to, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things to think about, so I'll keep processing those and figuring them out as I go. But thanks again to my patrons for making this possible, because without you, I wouldn't have been able to come do this, and I wouldn't be getting to be challenged and seeing like the CEO of WBEZ Chicago, you know, and just getting a really, really cool experience, meeting some really interesting people, and I'm really fortunate for this opportunity, so thank you so very much. I deeply and greatly appreciate it. It's been great. It's really been great. Tomorrow's gonna be a really long day, so I'm gonna cut things off here. I don't know how much I have to edit in total, but I do wanna go just straight to bed. Tomorrow's gonna be basically from 9 a.m. until 11 p.m. Very long day. And then I'll sleep in a little bit before some Space Invader hunting action, which sounds phenomenal. If you want to join us for that on Sunday, I got a lot of compliments on my Space Invader shirt, so that's a good sign for Sunday. I am so grateful for all of you as well. I want you to know that I think I made a little bit of a misstep in how I phrased something earlier, but I'm so grateful for all of you that just watch, whether or not you leave comments, whether or not you like the videos, whether or not you become members on Patreon, whatever. Just being here and sharing in the journey that is my life is an honor, and I'm very, very grateful to have you here, and I'm grateful for your time. So even though I'm talking a lot about Patreon right now, and I'm processing it a lot and thinking about it, because it is where the majority of my income comes from now, and that's the whole point of this convention, is to be talking and to be growing the business side of things and to be thinking about it. I still appreciate you no matter what. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing. And even if you don't subscribe, even if you just watch from the shadows every once in a while, I'm really grateful that you're here. So thank you for that. I'm going to leave you here now. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for, I don't even know what or how I'm going to get, how is this going to even work tomorrow? I'm going to have to find some time to edit. I'm taking my computer with me to Patrecon, and I will see you from there. Good night.